It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. It is that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you here on Channel Today have advanced. Here's your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I am joined by Melissa Tighy in Johannesburg, Heidi Giokos also in our Johannesburg studios, and Bafedida Moirani is also in Johannesburg. Melissa, let me start with you. More bad news, of course, for cash-strapped motorists. The petrol price going up by both 93 and 95 octane will increase by R1.71 a litre, diesel more, etc. But of course, you've got good news for us today in terms of South Africa's general economic growth.
Yes, we did see a 0.6% growth in our GDP. That is very, very good news. But we have to worry, what will this tremendous fuel increase mean to these different sectors, and how will that affect our Q3 growth? Now, I just quickly worked out with the fuel prices what sort of change it would be, and it's in between a 50 and up to 250 Rand difference, depending if you drive diesel or if you drive a normal motor car. So guys, please remember to fill up tonight before midnight. And the Automobile Association says they are expecting more hikes in the future. Let's listen to that bite.
Look, I mean, I think ordinarily, you would say that it is difficult to judge these things and obviously to predict too far in the future. I think when you look at the average value of the Rand against the dollar, and the DMRE in their official adjustment today noted it as well, the Rand depreciated from around 1828 to 1867. As you noted, it's now back over 19. How long it's going to stay there, it might go higher, we don't know. As I mentioned earlier, the fact that Saudi Arabia has indicated that it's going to continue its output cuts going into October is certainly not great news. And I think we're looking at the daily figures that are coming from the Central Energy Fund, and looking at what they call those over and under recoveries and seeing which way this is going. Obviously, we'll have a clearer picture towards, the first week, maybe first 10 days of September. I'm not going to be a doomsayer, but if both of these factors don't improve, then certainly the outlook could be bleak.
Heidi, let me come to you. Of course, this morning was quite an emotional thing for you to see some of the members of the city's mayor, Kwamanda, were actually at a building in Johannesburg looking at how derelict some of the buildings were there. Two MMCs, MMC Chwaku as well as MMC Gunene. What did they have to say with what they found there today?
Yes, and you're probably wondering why I'm not standing outside one of these hijacked buildings, but it's just so unsafe to do so. Masego, we have been told by JMPD and police that we cannot be in that area, especially Hillbrow area, where most of these buildings have been hijacked due to safety concerns. But the MMC for Public Safety and the MMC for Roads and Transport were out at a building today, Vaninen Court, which is in Hillbrow, and that is one of the buildings that have been hijacked. You cannot believe the conditions that people actually live in. I would never step foot in there, but some people have decided to stay in these conditions and to live in these conditions. A lot of them really rejecting the fact that that building can possibly be closed off in the next 2 to 3 days by the city, and they could possibly be evicted and removed from that area. A lot of them rejecting the fact that they'll be taken to shelters, saying that they don't want to be taken to shelters because they feel as though shelters are not for them, and they will not be able to make a living, and they are basically going to be living amongst other people. But the conditions that they live in, Masego, they do not have proper ablution facilities. There's no running water. There is no ablution facilities. And also, there's no electricity supply. The council in the area has to bring the water to them. It's really shocking conditions that people are living in. But the big question also is, why now? Why is the MMC, both MMCs in fact, going on this big drive to try and deal with these hijacked buildings? But according to them, they've been doing so for some time. It's just they've been faced with litigation. But the MMC for Public Safety has again said that he will evict people and remove people from these hijacked buildings, even if the city is facing litigation. Let's listen to that.
courts make a judgment that people must be staying in these dilapidated and old buildings. There is a non-compliance on this report. This building, it doesn't comply with the Fire Brigade Act in terms of the emergencies and all those things, exits and all of that. Number two, the structural integrity of this building here is not good. So this building can fall any time. So when we want to highlight to the community, the police, the JMPD, the EMS, and all the law enforcement agencies, they investigate and go and inspect here. But the courts allow these people to be here through an interdict. Now the question is, who needs to be accountable now? Because these people here are staying in a dire, unhealthy environment. So if we feel that this is too bad, we'll close it right now.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Heidi, Giokos and Melissa Tighy. Thank you very much, team. Let's leave it there for now.